the hell that is, that's a new world record in ugly.
Yo, how's it going guys? It's Abs here and welcome back to another Gears of War lore video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the Lambent Drudges seen in the Gears of War universe. So as always, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss a single lore video. And yeah, let's dive straight into it. So Lambent Drudges were Lambent life forms that appeared on the surface of Sera around 17 years after Emergence Day. They were seen by humans in 17 AE, but they were fighting against the Locust underground before Emergence Day during the Lambent War. But firstly, let's give a quick overview of Imulsion and Lambancy. So Imulsion was a parasitic fungal organism that appeared as a naturally occurring luminescent golden highly volatile liquid, and it was found in the geological formations beneath Sera's surface, which was known as the Hollow. It was commonly refined into a fuel source and became the most sought after resource on the planet. So the Lambent, or Glowies, refer to infected mutated variants of all the life on Sera caused by prolonged exposure to Imulsion. So most Lambent differ in behaviour, appearance, strength and death from their original counterparts, and while infection by Imulsion in the case of Rustlung was discovered by the coalition of ordered governments in the early Pendulum Wars era, the Lambent were only discovered much later. So originally Locust drones, Drudges were monstrous beings who could hideously mutate themselves to turn the tide of battle into their favour. So Drudges were originally Lambent drones who were of course originally Locust drones, who had endured a prolonged exposure to Imulsion, and the Lambent Drudge was the next stage of the Lambent drones mutation. And as you can see, the Lambent Drudges, they were hideous and they had a lot of mutations as well, which we'll dive into now. So during combat, the Lambent Drudges have two phases. So phase 1 is actually Pre-Mutation. So before the Lambent Drudges mutated, Drudges posed as much threat as a standard grub would. They moved slowly, they were vulnerable to the chainsaw and the bayonet charge attacks, and they only used hand-burst assault rifles in battle. They were also unable to take cover, but Drudges were still dangerous in their own right. Close-ranged enemies would be greeted with a fiery bath of Imulsion, and like all Lambent lifeforms, Drudges exploded violently upon death. If they were heavily damaged, unmutated Drudges were known to run towards enemies and detonate themselves to ensue chaos. And the Drudges were not adversely affected by headshots. Instead, their weak point was a glowing Imulsion-filled cyst located at their stomach. Any attack to this would severely injure a Drudge, and if you were using high-powered weapons such as the long-shot sniper rifle, this would instantly kill the Drudge. But other weapons would simply stumble it, and using most high-powered weapons anywhere else would cause the Drudge to instantly mutate instead. So phase 1 was Pre-Mutation, but phase 2 was the Mutation, and of course they had several of those mutations. So Drudges were unique in their ability to spontaneously mutate during combat, making them deadly opponents. Mutations provided them with enhanced combat ability, providing extra firepower, range and hardiness. Drudges only mutate when their health is sufficiently depleted, but not enough that it kills them outright. And Drudges can actually perform several mutations simultaneously as well. But the downside is that once mutated, Drudges cannot actually return to phase 1. So once they've undertook that mutation, they can't go back to the pre-mutation state. So the Lambent Drudges, they actually have 3 mutations. So let's break each one down. So the first mutation is the head snake. So the head snake mutation was where the Drudge's head surges upwards as its neck elongates, forming a thick serpent-like appendage. The head itself mutates into a gaping triangular mouth, which could spray a stream of superheated Imulsion at nearby opponents. And this was similar to getting scorched by a Scorcher flamethrower, so it was really deadly. But if the body was destroyed first, the head would still survive and move around like a snake, giving it the nickname Head Snake, and it would bite opponents with its mouth. So mutation 1 was the head snake, but mutation 2 was the arms. Now the second mutation in phase 2 was where the Drudge's arms mutate into distorted, over-elongated limbs with giant claws. While the Lambent Drudge gained a massive boost in close range combat, it was unable to use its handburst in this state. Despite this, they could use other forms of damage, for instance using their claws to throw emulsion bombs at enemies. Enemies that came too close to the Drudge in this mutation also risked getting ripped apart by their claws. Now if both of the Drudge's claws were destroyed, the Drudge would charge at the enemy before detonating themselves unless they mutated their head alongside its arms. Essentially, during this mutation you really want to avoid any close range fights with the Lambent Drudge. Otherwise you might get ripped to shreds by the Drudge's claws, you might get an emulsion bomb thrown at you, so just stay out of harm's way. That is the best way to combat Mutation 2. And then we have the third and final mutation, and that is the leg stalk. Now the third and final Drudge mutation sacrificed all mobility for a cover busting advantage of height and acting as a carrier spawner for Polyps. So essentially the Drudge's legs fused and grew into a stalk-like growth. So from this point the Drudge could continue firing at opponents with its hammerburst assault rifle if it did not mutate its arms, and the Drudge was also capable of spawning, like I just said, the Polyps from its trunk to assist it in fighting opponents. And just a quick overview of the Polyps. So the Polyps were the most basic form of Lambent, spawning within both Lambent stalks and the bodies of other Lambent creatures. They were crab-like with 6 legs and a small abdomen. They spat a noxious emulsion goo when threatened and could swarm over floors, walls and ceilings to blow up at an enemy's feet. So there you have it guys, that's the Lambent Drudges and their mutations in Gears of War explained. So if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and comment down below what you think of the Lambent Drudges and their mutations, and subscribe if you're new to the channel for more lore related content. Hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll catch you on the next one.